Welcome to wildhighlife.com. This is a little video about decrimping military brass so that you can put the primer in the pocket. As you see here in my hands, I have two 223 caliber brass. The one on the left does not have a crimp in it. The one on the right does. You'll notice the little ridge right here. Okay, see that little ridge? That makes the pocket smaller. The military puts that crimp in their brass, I guess just to hold in the primer in rugged conditions. Anyway, today we're going to take that out. Now, what happens if you put that primer in a hole that has the crimp still in it? This is what happens. On the left you see a primer, anvil side up, which is round, unused, normal, brand new. On the right you see one that I put into a primer pocket that still had the crimp. It would not go in all the way. It smashed it out on the other side and flattened this side. You do not want to try and put a primer in a pocket that has a crimp in it. Now, I looked at some other videos on YouTube. Some of them suggested using a pocket reamer or a shell reamer to just take and put a little bevel on that crimp. They said that'd work out fine. Well, I tried that and that's what happened. So I was not successful in getting this tool to work. Instead, I went down to the sporting goods store and got the RCBS military crimp remover small. Use the small with the 223 brass. So what we're going to do today is take that crimp out with this military crimp remover. You'll notice that it has an auger on the end and that it's tapered. Okay, the point is, now I'm going to take this shell that doesn't have a crimp in it and put that on here so you can see. The point is to get that auger to go all the way down until the casing is touching the military crimp remover. That way you can get the whole crimp out. You'll look and see when I put this one on, doesn't quite touch. Okay, so we're going to take that down so it takes that crimp right out. Then when we get done with that, we're going to use the RCBS standard hand primer to put the primer in. You'll notice that it has a rod that goes up and down. That's what puts the primer into the pocket. This is the small, it comes with small and large primer holder. The primer goes in here, comes up through this shell holder. This is actually a Lee shell holder. This one I had, so I use it. The important thing on this is to make sure that that shell holder is seated well against the plastic. Otherwise, the primer won't seat fully in the pocket. If this is up a little bit, then that rod won't come up high enough. We'll go ahead and put that together now before we take that out. We have to undo the gate. Pull that out. Slide this in. You got to put that rod back down. Slide this in. Oh, got to get that thing down. There we go. Snaps into place. Now sometimes this little assembly gets messed up. We got to pull out a little tool to push that back in. It's just a spring mechanism. We got to get it to go back up a little bit. Get those two lined up. Okay, so now we're cooking with gas. Now we'll put the safety gate back in. goes through that little hole right there. And we just screw it in. So you see that little rod comes up high enough to push that primer right into the pocket. So we'll set that down for a minute. Now, this crimp remover comes with two parts. It comes with this part, and then, let me grab my drill. It comes with this little threaded part. Now, to get it to fit into the drill, what I did was I went down and bought two nuts and screwed onto the other end of this threaded part. Those nuts are size 8, 32 threads per inch. So when you go down to the hardware store, look for 832. Okay? So now we're going to screw this on. And the point, once again, is to get this to go flush against the bottom. So we just hold on tight, go down over the trash can. Now it doesn't matter if you go all the way to the bottom, because that is fit perfectly for the end, so that it won't go deeper than it has to. If your hand gets tired, you can always push it against something else. But as you can see, the crimp is now gone. Okay, so now we're going to put the primer in the pocket. So we'll take these two out. We'll shake out a couple of these. Oh, let's go to the other side where I don't have a full row. Or I could just dump out a full row. Let's just dump those three in. The ridges on this make it so if you shake it, it turns the right way. Anvil side up. This has a little guard so that they don't come out while you're putting things together. This just snaps on if you can get the hole in the... Okay. When we're ready to have the... Oh, that one fell. No, we won't worry about it. We only need one. You just shake these down. You put this in that hole right there. Now we're going to turn this and let those come into the hole. Alright, we're going to take our brass, put it in the shell holder, and then squeeze it. And there we go, all set. Thanks for watching.